the investigation is delayed, the treatment is delayed, and I'm not getting better. So in other words, the quality goes down. The third point is coordination of objectives and activities of all team workers. Who coordinates the work? In a ward in charge is the main person who is having control of all the activities what is happening in her unit. In other words, we can say that she is accountable for all the activities of her unit. So it is her duty to see that needs of her patients are met. It is her duty to direct the co-workers. So when we are coordinating the work of all the healthcare team workers, all these people work directly or indirectly for giving patient satisfaction, or in other words, meeting the needs of the patient. The next point is appropriate expenses for quality assurance. That is, within the system, how you can meet the needs of the patient without having extraordinary expenses. Then, quality care key. Accurate assessment of patient care is necessary in order to achieve the needs of the patient. Whereas, when we are not making enough effort, then the patient care also will be varied. The next point in the principle is effective monitoring of the nursing system. That means a ward in charge or a supervisor need to have constant supervision of what others are doing. She coordinates, she supervises, she directs and helps the people to achieving the needs of the patient. And once this monitoring is done, then evaluation of the care is also needed. When we say evaluation, various methods of evaluation is there. In my hospital, we do give a patient satisfaction or patient assessment form. A person who is getting into the hospital, it may be in the OPD or it may be in the hospital getting admitted. With different forms are given to them, and the entire functioning of the hospital is assessed. When we say entire functioning, that is starting from, there is a column for assessing the doctors, nurses, dietitians, laundry, accounts and billing, housekeeping. So in other words, all the departments are assessed. That is one way of evaluating. The second way is direct observation. When we say direct observation, who does the direct observation? We nurses. The administrators, supervisors, ward in charges, they do the observation and they see whether the patient is having complaints or not. If the patient is satisfied, the amount of complaints will be less. If the patient is happy, then the patient will be having less complaints. If the patient is not happy, if the patient is not satisfied, the number of complaints goes up. That is another way of evaluating. Then the third way of evaluating is see how many incidental reports are coming, like the number of patient falls or the number of infection. A person who is getting admitted to your hospital with one problem is getting another infection and getting hospital stay longer. And in such situation, again you can say that your evaluation report shows that the patient is not having the quality of care what is needed. Then the collective analysis of quality assessment is needed. Whatever is the quality assessment data what is collected, that is analyzed and it is focused for the betterment of the patient. And the next thing what we need to do is, it always goes with the decision making. Evaluation and assessing report, making the report is helping in making the decision. Why the decisions are to be made according to the assessment? Because when one patient says something, we say, oh, that patient may be a highly demanding person. But when 10 patients tell you the same thing, we need to take it seriously and we need to say that, we need to see that the system as such needs some amount of changes. Then, once we are making the changes in the decision, then we need to focus on the data. Once the system and process are changed according to the need of the patient, then we will be able to see that the entire team is having the team approach of problem solving and quality improvement. Those are the principles, ma'am.
Yes. Lakshmi, what the main focus on principles was that there should be the man, material and money and coordination and team approach and focus on patient. It was the main focus. But how does this patient care is affected by the quality assurance? What is the impact of quality assurance on patient care?
Ultimately, all the results are on the patient centers. You see, in the healthcare quality, it is focused on the structure, process and outcome. The study of this system. And the structure, all our inputs, infrastructure, man, money, material is there. In the process, we have like how we are providing these services, how well at right time to the right patient. And outcome, we have a results that patient are getting discharged with the satisfaction. And in the study of these three structure, process and outcome is the ultimately resulting the quality, and it's ultimately affecting the patient. So quality assurance is have a great impact on patient care. And on like if we are maintaining all the factors like code of conduct, we have a growth of autonomy and we are accountable for our work. So then we will be giving good care to the patient. And economic other factors, if hospital is taking care of it, then public is getting good care, like the demographic change and good resource distribution without having any like any age group difference and any race difference. We are giving care to all equally. So then patient will be satisfied. And other, so if we have discussed the factors in detail. If we are maintaining all those factors and we are studying this structure, process, outcome, then ultimately we are achieving the quality and ultimately the patients are getting a good benefit of it. So quality assurance has a great impact on patient care.
What is the quality, Ms. Kora, what is the quality assurance cycle? It's a sort of a process where inputs through.
Yeah, the quality assurance cycle, what we say, it is a process which is having 10 steps basically. First step is plan. We need to plan what we are going to do for achieving patient satisfaction. Second, once we plan, we need to set the standards. What we are planning, based on that, the standards to be set. The main reason why we need to set the standard is for achieving the plan. We need to set the standards. We need to set the objectives. Then communicate the standards. The managerial level staff may set the standards. They may plan, but the people who have to interact with the patient, care for the patient, if they are not knowing what are the standards what is set, they will never be able to work for achieving those standards. Policies, procedure manuals, all these are prepared in various institutions. Protocols are set in institutions. Those are the standards, those are the materials which gives about or which talks about the standards. Communicating standards to the people who are working with you will be telling you how the standard to be achieved. Once you are communicating the standards to them, then you need to observe them, you need to supervise them to monitor whether they are working towards the achievement of the standards or not. Once the monitoring goes on, then identifying and prioritizing opportunities for improvement. No matter how well you are taking care of the patient may still say that they are not satisfied with the work. Still, there is room for improvement. And when we are on the process of achieving the standards, we need to remember always there is room for improvement. And once we are feeling that there is room for improvement, we need to define the problem what is coming up, which is making us to work towards improvement, and then we need to identify who will work for solving that particular problem. Once we know who is going to take up that particular task for solving the problem, then the person need to analyze and study the problem. Once we are analyzing the problem, we will be able to see that if I go in this direction, I will be reaching there. If I take up that particular step, then the patient may be happy and I will be able to do much better work for my patient. So analyzing the problem will be helping the person to take a decision which way or which direction the person should go. Once you are taking the decision what you need to do, then you are designing, and designing the solution will make you to implement the solution properly. Once you know in your mind, this is what I need to do for my patient, then you will be able to do it for achievement of that particular problem solving.
Ms. Lakshmi, in order to implement any quality assurance program, what steps should be followed? What models should be considered to follow the steps of implementing the quality assurance program in a healthcare setting?
Like in healthcare settings, since morning we are saying we have a standards, we have to follow that standards to achieve the objectives, and we have a standards for nursing practice also. But one expert, Norma and Lang, has proposed one model, and just to assist the individual nurse practitioner or the group of nurse practitioner to implement a program of assuring quality nursing care. That model is there. Then this model is in circular form and indicating the competent in the implementing process, cycle and proceeds and infinite. Like it is connecting one step to another, second one to third, and it is a continuous process. And it is a very good model to assess the quality assurance in our nursing practice. The first step is in this is identify value. In identifying value, values are it is a subject to change, and it affects by the societal change, and it affects by the civic influence and organization, and including human behavior. So quality implies a group of properties characterized as good. So we have to see the values as per the society, as per the individual. And when implies to the nursing, this means that the standards and criteria reflecting societal and the professional values must be established, and that these nursing standards and criteria must be dynamic and subject to change. Second one is identifying structure, process, outcome, standard and criteria. This structure, process and outcome, this makes a system. Again and again we are saying structure, process and outcome, it makes system. So we have to identify the system, we have to identify our standards, and how we are going to achieve these standards, we have to set the criteria. You are getting structure, process, outcomes and standard and criteria. If we have selected these things, then we will be able to identify our work and our area to work. So in the second step, we have to identify these elements. For example, in our hospital, we should know what all are the supplies are available. Then as a nursing personnel, how we are going to use them, and how the patients will be benefited out of it. And all the things we have to work under the set standards. Third one is secure measurement needed to determine degree of attainment of standards and criteria. Then we have to see that how much that standards and are achievable. This is the third component of the model, is the determination of the degree of attainment between the established standard and the criteria and the current level of nursing practice. That what we are practicing and how much we are achieving the standard. There are many methods that can be used to measure the current level of nursing practice according to established criteria. Existing methods includes direct patient observation, as Madam has explained nicely. We are observing directly. We have a patient survey scales, and sometimes we have an internal and the external peer review group. So these are the methods. By this we measure how much we can attain our set standards. The fourth one is make interpretation about strengths and weaknesses based on the measurements. You see, we have measures that we can work in this limits. Though we have set the standard and the criteria like this, but in our situation we can work like this. So that strengths and weaknesses we have to assess in the fourth step. That in this measurement we are measuring the degree of attainment between the identified standards and the criteria and the current level of nursing practice. Sometimes some steps may miss as per the availability of the resources in the particular working situation. So we have to see our strengths and weaknesses in that. The fifth step is identify possible course of action. Then we cannot miss that step, that it is not available in our hospital and that we will not follow it. No, we have to see the possible course of action, that what another alternative steps can be there as per our situation. So we have to identify other possible course of action. Then sixth step is choose the course of action. Then if we have selected that this action is possible, then we can select that we have to choose that this is the action which we can do to achieve our quality care. After several alternative actions have been proposed and examined, the best action we have to select. Then we have to implement that action. Then last action is we have to take action. So this is in cyclic form. You see, first we have identified the values, then second one we have identified what is in our hand, the structure, process, standard and criteria. Then we have seen whether we will be able to achieve that criteria as per our in the set standard. Then we have seen our limitations. Then again we have seen that what all actions, possible actions we can take. Then we have selected the action, then we have taken the action. So it is a very good model which is proposed by the Norma M. Lang, and it definitely, if we are following this model, we will be able to give good quality care within available resources at right time to the right patient.
Mrs. Kora, if we are going to implement a quality assurance program in hospital, what steps should be followed in organizing a quality assurance program in a selected hospital?
In a hospital, when we say the quality assurance program, the program should be approved by the administrative authority. That means the hospital authorities need to approve the program, and then the task force to be identified. The task force, when we say, if I talk about my own hospital and the experience, the task force internal auditors are from all categories. Doctors are there, technical staff are there, nurses are there, and administrative staff are there. So they are given the task of forming the committee, and they are given the task of doing the assessment or the evaluation. So what happens is, in the quality circle, in the quality approach to the hospital, various members are appointed. Then the quality assurance program is having a leader. The leader decides which group will go to which area, which group will do the assessment of which particular department. All that is decided. So they take the direction from the leader, and then they go do the assessment, they meet together and they discuss about the various activities. When the assessment is done, they are given the orientation program so that they know in which way they need to proceed and they need to do the assessment. Then they examine the beliefs and behaviors of the group members, because every member of the group is not having the same belief or same behavior. Say for example, if you say that the injection trays are to be prepared in a specific way and the needles to be destroyed without recapping, some may say, oh, it is not needed. We are not going to reuse it. Why should we take care of the needle? But that is necessary for the quality. And many a times we see that they don't identify the institutional supports and the constraints what is necessary for dealing with the quality in nursing service. When we say we are leading towards the quality assurance within the hospital, we need to focus on the plans of actions which are developed. We need to communicate the system to our co-workers, and we need to develop the indicators which are telling us as the thresholds or the monitoring of the set standards, and then we need to see that the process by which problems are solved for betterment of the institution.
Lakshmi, would you like to say something about qualities of a nurse?
This quality assurance is totally is the is the nursing administrator role, and because it is not a one-man job, it is a teamwork, and we are a nurse, we working in the team in the hospital, and daily we have to see that this quality patient care is given to the patient, and that will be possible if we have a set standards and criteria. So as a nurse administrator, you have to see that your staff is working as per the protocol and as per the set standard. Then only we will be able to achieve the quality.
So we had a good discussion on quality assurance in nursing services, and I hope you must imbibe all those steps what are to be followed in the hospital system, and the nursing occupies a very important place in maintaining the quality of patient care in the healthcare delivery system. So I thank Ms. A.T. Kora for giving a nice presentation. I also thank Ms. Lakshmi for giving detailed account of all the details about quality assurance system. But we have not received any calls so far from the regional centers.